Hello, America. Me again. Um, I'm not even going to run off the notes on this. I'll get back to them. Um, but this is a plea for the fill-in candidate. In our country, we do have the fill-in candidate slot still in this nation, and we can vote for anyone we want. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Kim Jong Il. It doesn't matter. Not that I'd want to vote for Kim Jong Il, but it doesn't matter who you want to see president. That fill-in candidate is quintessential to elections in our nation. So the fact of the matter is when we look across the board at all of the candidates, with the exception of one who actually isn't getting much publicity, um, well, two. Mike Gravel, I'm sort of middle of the road on this guy. Um, Ron Paul, mm, you know, I hate to dissect his policies and his candidacy. Excuse me, but he's really become sort of a lost candidate, only because he says what America needs to hear. And I like the guy. He seems okay. I don't like that he's pro-life, and I know for his political candidacy, he's going to say that he's pro-choice, and then he's going to hand those powers over to the state, which of course will become a defeating issue. So understanding candidates and understanding their policies. Mike Gravel cannot get his mind off the taxation thing, so he's not really a forerunner candidate for me. I'd like to see Ralph Nader run. Mr. Nader, if you're out there, please tune in, because, buddy, we need somebody of your insane perceptions in our country driving the forces behind our nation. As long as you swear and uphold to defend the Constitution, and which raises another fine point. When you're standing there the day that you take the oath and you swear to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, that's not just that day. That's every day for the rest of your political career or the time that you're in office. And hopefully, like me, who didn't take an oath, to still be willing to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, not rewrite and restructure for your own personal gain. Rudy Giuliani, drop out. Guy, you might hear some great things when you're out on the campaign trail, but Washington's not saying them, the press isn't saying them, and quite frankly, I'm not saying them either. The furthered Iraqi occupation, Iraqi oil goes to China. All that we're extracting out of the ground in Iraq goes to China, and then China pretends to loan us billions of dollars every day in order to perpetuate our war in Iraq. Alaskan oil, our oil on our own national reserves in our own national parks, goes to Japan. We're borrowing money, but first let's eliminate America's ability to. Uh, Airlines, you know what? If you can't survive, tough. You're out of business. As far as it goes, it's like any other business. The old days where you could file for bankruptcy or for restructuring your corporation was a great idea in its onset because it saved Class A American companies, which kept jobs. But this is all going by the wayside. I have an extraction plan for Iraq, but it sounds a lot like Dennis Kucinich's when I stop and reread it, and a lot like Ron Paul's. So I have to stop and ask myself exactly what's going on with that. Do you know what upsets me the most? And this is what gets me. That every day I stare into the TV, or I stare into this, that, or the other, or I'm reading this, that, or the other, and they keep, meaning the press, they keep telling me the same things. They keep trying to point out that government is the power and not the people. And I keep saying this again and again and again, government of, for, and by the people. Television, movies, our leaders and our press, and we know who's in control of the press. We find ourselves looking for fill-in candidates. America right now, we're grappling for third-party candidates, and we need that fill-in option. We need that fill-in ballot option. We need to be able to stop and look at these things, because after all, the Constitution is a separation of church and state. The remaining members of the Pastor Ministries, the pressure applied, Separation of church and state applies here. You keep your government out of my religion, and I'll keep my religion out of your government. But that line's been crossed. We are so far down that road, and we can totally come back from it. You know, they're applying this pressure because I watched the Praise the Lord Ministries the other day. Yeah, I want to see what everybody has to say. So, like I said, I've been watching thousands of hours of video and absorbing time. He was this fella, the fat guy. I don't remember his name. Was looking in the camera, and he was trying to justify the invasion of Iran. How we need to get in there and save those people. But what he isn't telling you is how we've already given these militias, these militant Muslims that we're trying to get to settle down, the ability to invade northern Iran. This is an act of war. This is a straight up act of war. But they're not going to invade Iraq, not like the old days at any rate, because America now occupies it. So pressure is being applied from everywhere. You know, in the north of Iraq, the PKK, they're hammering away at Turkey. Turkey wants to invade southernmost, and you know, just to reclaim the lands, and that's totally a bid for oil, because Turkey has very few natural resources, and if they take over this other area that they want and defeat the PKK, which they'll never do, and America will certainly give them millions of dollars in order for them to fail at their mission as well. These people will still have their independence, but they will never be recognized as a sovereign nation. Even though they cause no grief to the United States refuses to back them. They cause no grief to Turkey other than when they're invaded, and Turkey refuses to recognize them. The United Nations refuses to recognize them. I knew Iraq was going to be like this. I knew Iraq. I mean, just months before, they'd shown in National Geographic what was going on in Iraq and how it was dissected, and how Saddam Hussein could ever possibly manage to make heads or tails of his own nation, and everyone was in a quandary over how this was ever going to happen. Well, the fact of the matter is it's still going on. All the same things that were going on, only now we're in there being just the bad host, or the bad guest. I'm not sure which. It's supposed to be our dominated country, but yet we are hosting other nations, and oil companies, oil corporations are absolutely slaughtering the land. I mean, America, you know, I could really use some feedback on some of this stuff. Even if you want to call me names and stuff, I don't care. I'm a big fella, I can take it. But you know, every piece of information that's brought to me, I get dozens of letters. I get great people following me around and listening to some of the things that I have to say, and sometimes I'm not sure what I'm doing is the right thing, and that's going to be in my next video, and I'll explain to you why then. Because even this is a threat to national security, only because I'm not forcing myself to think the way they want me to think, which makes me a threat. And I'm up to speed with my militia right now. I spent about a week hanging out with them. That was a lot of fun. I got to fire off my guns and get some target practice in. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And you got to understand, I was a peaceful man before all this started. I'll be a peaceful man no more, I guarantee you. Because it has to stop, and it's our duty. So please, America, let's all come together on this one. And even if you want a peaceful message to be sent, make that video. Make that video, make it peaceful, because I don't want war. I don't want war at all. So, you know, America, we need to do these little things, because it's the little things that surmount the big things. So let's beat them. Let's get them out of there. Fill in ballots. Let's do it. And everyone, I want to thank you for all the letters that you sent, but I'll get more into that one in my next video.